Alright, so we can start with the song, and you need to bear in mind that we need to use a different tuning, not the standard tuning. We're going to use a drop C tuning. The lower E, it's on C, it's tuned on C, the fifth on G, the fourth on C, the third on F, the second one on A, and the first one, it's tuned in D. So the what we need to do at the beginning with the intro, it's the following. So we're going to be doing that. So we're just going to use the second string and the third string. You're going to use 7 of the third and 10 of the B string. And we're going to strike first the 7 and then the 10. And we just repeat the same movement 6 times. The next movement, we need to go to 10 of the third string and 13 of the second string. And we repeat the same motion 6 times, 10 and 13. Now the next one, it changes a little bit. We need to do 7 and 10 again, but we're going to strike 7 and 10 3 times at the beginning. And on the third time, we need to strike 11 of the second string. We go back to 7 of the third, and then back to 11 of the second, 10 of the second string, and then we just go back to the 7 of the third, strike 7, and then 10 of the B string. So let me do it in slow tempo. One more time. And now we're going to change. We're going to go to 10 and 13, just like we did before. And we're going to do... So we do that. We strike 10 and 13, okay, on the third and the second string. And then we need to strike 10 again on the third. And we go to 15 of the second string. Back to 10 on the third. And then back to 15 on the second. Then 13 on the second, and then 10 of the third, go back again to 13 of the second, then 11 of the second, and then back, and we finish with 10 of the third and 11 of the second. Let's go again. One more time. And that would be the end of the intro, which is the first section, and then comes the high gain part. So you need to remember this part because we're gonna repeat it on the verses, and we're gonna change something on the verses. It's something different, but it's pretty much the same section. So let me play the whole part again in slow tempo, and then we just move forward to the next section. Alright, so now with the next section, which is the high gain section, we need to use the distortion pedal, real high distortion, and at the first we're going to do 2 rounds of the following. We're going to do that. So we're going to strike the pretty much the lower C and G, which is the E and A on the standard tuning. We're going to use just those. If you want to use the fourth and at the fourth, there's no problem. You can do that. It's still going to sound good. So we're going to strike 1 time the open strings, and then we just need to use this hand or this hand to kill the note. And we need to mute the strings, because if we don't do that, it's going to sound, and we don't want that. We just strike and kill the note, and then we do that. We do a bar on the 6th and the 5th on the 3rd position, strike just once, then on the 2nd position, on the 2nd fret, 1 time, then open strings, then 2nd fret again, and then open strings again. That's the movement. So we need to do it a little bit faster. Then we need to go and do a bar, make a bar on the 8th position, on the 8th fret of the lower 6th and 5th, and we do that. We just strike it 4 times, 1 time and then 3 times. Then we move forward, we move back to the 7th position and do the same motion. Okay, strike 4 times. Then we need to repeat the same section 1 more time. And now we can change. We're gonna do that. It's pretty much what the part we did before is gonna be 3, a bar on the 3 fret number 3, then second open strings, second fret again, and then we strike twice on the open string. That's the movement. So we repeat the same movement 4 times. It got to be real fast. All right, and then we just go back again to the 8 and strike 4 times. And we go back and do one measure, one round of what we did at the beginning. All right, so let me play the whole section and then we just move forward to the verses. One more round of that. And now we go to the verses. Okay, so now on the verses, with the verses, you need to pay attention right now. So we're gonna do 3 rounds of something, okay? Now the first round is gonna be what we did on the main intro. And the second and third round are pretty much the same idea, but we have some changes, okay? So on the first part, we do the same thing with the intro. Alright, so that is the first round, the same thing we did with the intro. Now on the second round, we're going to start with the same pattern, 7 and 10, 6 times. And now we're going to do something different. We're going to do that. So we're going to go to 10 and 13, 10 of the third and 13 of the second. Strike 10, 13, go back to 10 of the third, and then we need to put the finger on the 12th of the E string, which is actually the D string now, because we are in drop C, and we do 12 of the first one, 13 of the second, and 10 again on the third. Then we need to go and do 13 of the lower E, or the high E, which is going to be the D string, sorry, and then 13 of the first, 13 of the second, and then 10 again on the third. And then we just repeat the other one, 12 on the E, the first string, second one, 13, and third on the 10 fret. So let me go in slow tempo. Sorry. One more time. So that's the second part. And then we just go back to the same thing we did before with the 10 and then 7 and 10. I'm not going to explain it because it's the same part than the intro. And then we just go back and do the other part. Okay, so it's the same section. So alright, so with the first part is going to be the intro, and the second and third round are going to be what I just played. So let me show you how we play the second and third round, okay? Sorry. Alright, so that was what we're gonna play. I'm a little bit uncomfortable right now. This chair and the wall is right here, so I cannot do this. So it's gonna... Alright, so that's what we need to do. So remember, first it's the intro, and the second it's what I just played, the second and the third. And after the verse comes the main chorus. But before we start with the chorus, at the maybe half of the verse, there's a distortion, a guitar with a distortion doing something on top, which is the bass. So what we're gonna do is That's what we need to do. We need to use the open C string and then the 3rd fret of the C string. We need to do that. We repeat it again. Then we go to the 3rd fret and we do the same thing. One more round of that. All right, and then the chorus comes in. All right, so with the chorus, we repeat the second part we did with the intro. So pretty much in conclusion, if you learn the intro of the song, you know pretty much how to play pretty much the whole song, okay? So what we need to do with the chorus is 2 rounds of the second part we saw with the intro. If you didn't actually pay attention, go back to the intro, because it's the same part. We're gonna do... We repeat again. Then the other part. And one more round of the first part. And then the new verse comes in. Now, so pretty much you know how to play the whole song. And the only thing that changes right now, it's the bridge and the end of the song, the ending of the song. Okay, so now with the bridge or interlude, we need to do the following. We're going to start doing that. So we're going to use this 12th on the C string, on the 6th string, and we're going to do at the beginning the following. We do that. We strike 1 time on the 12th of the C string, and then we strike it 4 times. But I'm sorry. That's the movement. Next, we need to go to 14. Strike 14. Do a pull off back to 12. Then strike again 12. And then go back to 14, and we need to strike 14 and do a tiny bend. It's like going to 15, okay? Let's start again. All right, one more time. Now that's the first round of it. There are 4 rounds. The first round we need to do this, and the other 3 rounds we need to do. It's a little bit different. Notice that when I strike 12 at the beginning, it's different. There's no space. I strike 12 6 times. I do that, and as soon as we do that, we go again to the same pattern. 14, pull off to 12, 12 again, and then 14 and bend to 15. Let's go again with the whole section, the first round. Sorry, let's go again. All right, so now the next section, we're going to do 2 rounds of the following. We do that. It's pretty simple. We need to go to 2nd fret of the C string, the lower 6th string, and we need to do 2nd fret, and then we need to strike the open string 5 times. That's what we need to do. And we repeat on the first measure 4 times the same motion. Alright, so we need to do 2 rounds of this, and it's going to be 4 and then 4 again. Again. Alright, so remember to do alternate picking with this. There is not all downstrokes. It's a little bit uncomfortable. You need to do with a nice movement. You need to put your hand on top of these strings and doing palm muting, of course. And if you can, try to put this finger on top of the body of the guitar so you can give stability. Check Petrucci, he's a great guitar player. He uses this technique. He put his finger on top of the body to give stability. All right, it's gonna simplify everything. So again, so it's 2 rounds of this. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is we're going to do that. So we strike one time on the open C string, okay, the lower 6. We need to strike it once, and then we need to strike 4 more times. We need to do that. The first one, and there's a space, is a longer note, and then 4 times. And what we do, we go to the 2nd fret of the C, strike one time, do a pull off to the open string, strike one more time the open C, and then again we need to go to 2nd, strike one time, and do a tiny bend like going to the 3. It's pretty much the same thing we did right here. The only thing is we do it right here. So we repeat that motion 4 times, and then we need to do the same thing we did previous in the previous section before this. We do we do 2 rounds of that, and that's the end of the bridge. So pretty much now you know the whole song, and the only thing that's left, it's the ending. Okay, so before the very ending, we're gonna do 2 rounds of what we just learned on the bridge. And then the very final comes in, the very ending. So we're gonna do. So we're gonna do that when it sings "When I Became the Sun." Okay, we need to do that. So we strike 3 times on the open C string, and then we do 2nd fret of the C, pull off to the open string, strike one more time the open C, and then 2nd fret in a tiny bend like going to the 3. That's the movement. We need to do that. So first we do that, and then what we need to do, we need to strike the open C string, doing alternate picking 6 times. We do that, and we repeat the same motion. 2nd, open, pull off to the open string, strike open string, and then 2nd, tiny bend to go to the 3rd. Let's go with the first part, the first "When I Became the Sun." We need to do that, and the second part that he sings that, we need to do. So we need to do the same thing, start with the same way, and then 6 times. And we do that. So the only difference is that at the end, the second fret, there is no bend. We just strike the 2nd and kill the strings. Alright? And that's the end of the song. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you on the next tutorial.